In this video, we're going to be looking at 3D Pythagoras. Okay, so this question wants us to find the length of AG. Now I'm going to start by showing you a slightly long method. And the reason being is the longer method would work on any solid shape. However, the shorter method, which I'll show you at the end, only works for cuboids. So let's first look at that long method, which you can apply to any solid shape. Okay, so we need to work out AG, which is the very long side. The first step of this method is to draw a right angle triangle which has the length AG in it. Now take a moment to think about a triangle which will have the length AG in it. And the best one to do would be AEG. The triangle AEG would be a right angle triangle. So here I've drawn the triangle AEG, and it's got that side which we're trying to work out on that triangle AG. So at the moment, how much of this triangle do we know? We only know the length of AE. The length of AE is 5 centimeters. If you look on the diagram, it should be the same as CG. AE should be the same as CG. So we can fill in AE as 5 centimeters. Now, unfortunately, we don't know any more about this triangle, so we can't simply do Pythagoras and work out AG. Had we known EG, we'd now simply do Pythagoras and find out AG. So now the problem is, can we work out EG? Because remember, if we know EG, we'll have enough information to do Pythagoras to work out AG. Now, guess what? We're going to draw another triangle which has EG in it. And preferably we want a right angle triangle. So think of a right angle triangle which has EG in it. And the best triangle to pick is EGF. So here I've got EGF, and it's a right angle triangle. And I've put in the parts of that triangle which we know. And you can look back at the solid shape to see how we know these ones. So we know the 10 centimeters and we know the 20 centimeters. Now what you can say right away is we can do Pythagoras to work out that missing length EG. Now that's going to be brilliant, because once we work that out, in the first right angle triangle, I could fill in EG, and then we would have enough information to do Pythagoras to work out AG. So let's first work out EG. Now you should know Pythagoras, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, c being the longest side. Okay, so we've got 10 squared plus 20 squared equals the long side EG squared. And of course, 10 squared plus 20 squared is 500. So EG squared is 500. And if EG squared is 500, of course, EG would be the square root of that. So EG is square root of 500. So now that we know EG is root 500, we can fill in EG in that first right angle triangle. Brilliant. Now we've got enough information to do Pythagoras to work out the side we want, AG. So we have 5 squared, and then we have that square root of 500 squared, which will be 500, because square root and square cancel each other off. And that's equal to AG squared. 5 squared, of course, is 25, and the square root's gone, so that's just 500. So we have 25 plus 500 equals AG squared. And adding that up gives us 525 equals AG squared. And of course, if AG squared is 525, AG is the square root of that. And now you can just simply throw that into your calculator. Add to one decimal place, we get 22.9. Okay, so I did say I'd show a slightly quicker method. However, this is the method which works for all solids, because in the exam sometimes you don't have a cuboid, you might have a pyramid or a different shape. Okay, so let's try that quick method. Now this is the formula for the quick method. A squared plus b squared plus c squared equals d squared. And the d is the really long side AG. It's the longest length in your cuboid. And a, b and c are those 3 dimensions. So this formula always helps you work out the longest length you can get on your cuboid. So that gives us 10 squared plus 20 squared plus 5 squared equals that really long side AG squared. Simplifying that down gives us 525 equals AG squared. And of course now we can square root to get AG. So we get AG is root 525. And from before we know the root of 525 is 22.9. So that method was a lot quicker. But remember, it only works with cuboids. So I would advise you to practice the other method, because a lot of the time you won't get a cuboid. And with the other method, just remember the first step is to get a right angle triangle which has that length you need to work out in it, and then work from there. And there we have it. I hope you found that video useful. Support us by liking, subscribing, and share this with your friends. And if you still got some more questions on anything, drop a post on our forum at examqa.com where you'll find your questions answered.